It's Monday, August 12th. Months are hard, right, Mason? And so because of that, shots fired. So this is going to be day, I don't know what day it is, 3, 4, 12, something. I don't teach math. And so we're getting into more learning stuff for those of you who are home who get to watch and follow along and stuff like that. You did just miss me making fun of kids, but don't worry, it'll happen again in a moment, so we'll be safe. For those of you playing the version right here with us, go to wherever you write down your responsibility stuff, because we're getting ready to give you a homework assignment for your responsibility bits for that whole thing. Here is your homework assignment due tomorrow. You are going to find 5 pictures of things that you like. All you have to do is Google-inate it, or if you have magazines, you're welcome to use magazines, and you are going to Google-inate the pictures, and then you are going to save them and eventually print them off. They don't really have to be printed until like Wednesday, but you're going to need to have them. If you can just show them to me on your iPad tomorrow, that's fine. This does count as an official grade. So with the pictures, they can be of anything that you like, things that make you smile. Bands that you follow, foods that you eat, favorite colors, YouTubers that you enjoy, video games that you play. But it has to be 5 different things. You can't be like, Minecraft is life, and have a picture of like Minecraft, and have a picture of like a cow, then a picture of a pig, and then a picture of your pickaxe. Or you have to have 5 different things. Even if Minecraft is life, you're going to have other things besides that in your life. Something you eat while you're playing Minecraft. And so have something along those lines. That's what I'm looking for. If you cannot print your pictures, I can print them for you, but I charge you 3 B points for me doing your work for you. So if you need me to print them, you can email them to me, and then I will print them for you to help you out. If you print them, which is my preferred method, it means I do less work, altogether they should be smaller than a half piece of paper. Half piece of paper. All of your pictures need to fit on this half piece of paper. So if you print off 5 full-size sheets of paper, that's bigger than a half sheet of paper. I might not teach math, but even I can figure that out. So that's when I have you guys be able to show me for tomorrow. Now, questions and issues you have about that. If not, you can skeet your thing away and make it disappear.
Does it have to be in color?
Preferably, because you're going to be putting them out there for everyone to see, and it makes them slightly less boring. So on your final project, if they're not in color, I might charge you 1 point, just as a general irritation point. But it's not going to be the end of the world, because we're going to have like a lot of points, but just to torture kids. Does that answer your question? Yes, it does. Now we're good to go. Now all of the iPads and stuff like that, put them to the side. We are going to come back to your iPad later, so don't break it over your knee or anything like that. I have one more thing we're going to do with it, just not yet. You just get to ship over to the side. All right. We'll be at home. Hopefully that helps you out from there. Did we get all the way to the bottom of this? Got through my clipboard, got through the good kids, started doing the good kid stuff with you guys and things like that. Yay. So I don't have to officially go back over any of this stuff again. Once again, in a moment, I'm going to officially activate B points where I get to start torturing you. And that's right, you can't be like, but I didn't understand. Like right now, does anyone not understand ways to not be an idiot? No? Just like every day at home. All right, just making sure. And then, did I get through all the good kid stuff with you? So to the good things you can do. Did I talk about the fact that if you go a week without losing points, you gain a point?
Oh, yeah.
Then that was like the last thing. So if every week you don't lose points, you gain points. Delaney!
How many points does Casper have?
Well, Casper's in this class. How many points does every kid have?
15.
There you go. Go you. And there's a good chance Casper won't lose any points this year. Fingers crossed. So maybe Casper will only gain. We'll find out. And good job, you've now just confused the kids at home. But I'm okay. They're not here to complain. Let's see. Did I talk about my clipboard with you guys?
Yes.
I keep track of all the points on there. I write them on there. And the fact I talk about my Hello Kitty on there. So we're good to go on that. Oh, good. You guys are all kind of almost responsible-ish. And then that goes to there. And then, did I talk about the Simpson Sheet?
No.
That's where we stop. All right. I figure we get there eventually. So, there's a few other ways to gain points for those kids who are really desperate. And then the ways to gain points would be, one, a thing called a Simpson Sheet. That's not in my head, right? Sometimes stuff like that happens. I know, I was just waiting for you guys to be like, no. What are you talking about? We don't hear that ringing. Oh, we gave it away. And so here's what a Simpson sheet is. I got it from the TV show Simpsons. Bart, at the very beginning of it, he has to like write a phrase on the chalkboard because he's irritated his teacher. Same thing here. It's a phrase that says, I will be more responsible for my performance in school. For those of you playing the home version. And you choose one of these, and you have to write that phrase 50 times. And if you write that phrase 50 times, it gets you 5 B points. Usually, I used to use this just for bad kids to torture them. Then I started having good kids asked to do it. And so the answer is yes. At any number of points, you could choose to do this. Even if you're at 45 points and you're trying to get to 50 points, you'd be like, I want a Simpson sheet. I'm like, you have issues. You're like, I do. And then you can choose to do it. The only drawback is, once you choose to do this, it becomes an assignment for you. So you can't back out. It is due the next day. And if you don't have it done the next day, you lose the right to sit down and I torture you and stuff like that. So if you choose to do it, make sure you're willing to fully commit to all 50 lines on there. Can we do more than 50 lines? Absolutely. You can do up to 200 lines on here, which can get you up to 20 points if you wanted it. But most people don't have a life or a hobby, but some kids are special. And I did have some kids who would do a full sheet like every week because, once again, apparently they don't know there are things like Netflix out there. So they're like, I'm just going to do one of those. I'm like, someday you'll have friends. And so when you get done, it ends up looking like this, which is just a completely filled sheet as you go through there. And so that is an option you are more than welcome to do when you get down into scary points, which we'll talk about scary points in a moment. That's where my slow kid section comes in and stuff like that. Also, you can choose to take a detention. And this is also open to any student who would like to do it. You can choose to take a detention by going, Mr. Brovicast, I have issues. I'm like, I know. And when you choose to serve a detention, you will serve a detention during lunch. We pull you out of your normal lunch. There's like a detention table of doom. You sit off to the side. You get a peanut butter and jelly and a little cup of kids' tears to drink. And then you have to work on multiple essays. So you have to write an essay about why you're a horrible child and you make poor choices. You also do a Simpson sheet while you're there. And you have to have your parents sign a little detention slip saying, we have a bad child. And they sign that and you bring it in. The good news is it gets you 15 B points. So if you're wanting to find an easy way to get 15 B points, that is certainly a thing that you may choose to do. But once again, if you choose a detention, you are committing to it. You can't back out partway through and be like, I made a poor choice. I'm like, yes, you did. Suffer. And you get to go through the whole thing and come out the other end of it. So yes, you can always choose a detention. In a moment, we're going to talk about what happens if you lose a bunch of B points and get down to like in the 5s or negatives, something like that. In that case, you have chosen a detention. You just didn't know you chose a detention. Your poor choices chose it for you. Because once you get down far enough, I have to then be mean to you. So hopefully that helps you out. Speaking of being mean to you, I have what is called a slow kid section, which is these seats that are right over here. Slow kid has nothing to do with your intelligence. Because I know you're thinking, but Mr. Brovicast, we're in an advanced class. There'd be no slow kids in here. No, because oftentimes some of my slowest kids are in my advanced class. Because slow has nothing to do with how smart you are. It's how well can you follow directions in class and do the things you're supposed to. And that makes you go, oh yeah, there's a lot of them in here. And the answer is, yeah, I'm aware. And so when you lose enough B points that you go down to 5, you lose the right to sit with other kids. And I bring you over here to my slow kids section, where you have a seat right next to me. And that way, when you make poor choices, like turning around, talking to other kids, or smacking a child, I can just go, whack, pay attention, like, okay! And I'm like, good job, I go, okay. And we get a chance to like bond and be close to each other and stuff like that. If this doesn't work for you, and some kids come over to this area and are like, I'm still making poor choices, in that case, you get what's called distance learning. And with distance learning, I have Logan. He gets to crack the door open over there. We take a chair out to the hallway, and you get to watch class through a crack in the door. Until you try to irritate the class, and some kids are like, I'm still in the hall! And then Logan just goes, boom, and then shuts the door on you, and then you get to watch through the window. And you're like, but Mr. Brovicast, I can't hear or understand anything. And my answer is, it's okay, I don't care. Because I'm recording class. You get to watch the video later. And your response is, but that sounds like work. And the answer is, you're right. So I'm very good at dealing with kids with issues and problem solving. It's what I do. So that's my slow kid section and stuff like that. If I ever call you a slow kid, it has nothing to do with how smart you are. It has to do with your ability to follow directions and figure out what you're supposed to do and stuff like that. questions over any of that stuff? Questions about life? Just checking. Yes. Hang on. It's Deacon. I'm getting there.
Last week you were talking about the tie theme thing.
We'll get there.
When does that start?
Not for another week or so. I go through a whole thing where I explain how it works to you, so we have time. And yeah, this is not me. This is a past student, Max Shores. He's now a senior in college. And so it was at the end of the year. That was his gift for me the last day of school. He was like, you know what you don't have? I'm like, a lot of stuff. He goes, a tie with my face on it. I go, yeah, because that'd be creepy. He was like, here you go. And I'm like, yep, it's now creepy. But I liked Max, and he was a fun kid. So now I wear the tie at the beginning of each school year. And I usually take a picture of it, and I text it to him. I'm like, Max, it's your day. And he texts back, yay. And so we get a chance to keep bonding because kids are special and stuff like that. Peppa, what are you doing on my PowerPoint? Sorry. I have a daughter, and she was like, you're going to have to put Peppa on your PowerPoint. Like, this is the stupidest thing ever. But it made her so happy to think about it happening. So I love my daughter more than I love my self-esteem. I'm so ashamed. This will be, once again, a closer version of the Simpson Sheet, so you get an idea of what it looks like. So just as you can see it far away, that's what it is. You write that phrase out multiple times as you go through. Yeah. Now, good things that happen. As far as the B points go, as of now, you all have 15. As you gain points, good things will happen to you. So this is as you gain points and go up, things start happening to you, and you get whatever that is and all the stuff below it. So if you get up to like 75, you also get the stuff at 50 and at 40 and 30 and 20 and stuff like that. And you don't spend points to do it, except at 75 it costs you 5 because you're buying like a thing from me. The big one that most kids go for is 50 B points. When you get to 50 B points, you get to pick your own seat in class. You get to choose where you want to sit. Now, it has to be a student desk. You can't choose like my desk or the blue chair, because it'd be really awkward. I was teaching, I'd sit on your lap like, oh my God, that's not going to happen. So, but any other seat, you're welcome to it. But what if there's a kid in that seat? You get to boot them out of their seat, and you take it from them, and they go to your old seat. So anytime that you want to steal a seat from a kid, you can. And you get to do it once per week on Mondays. I'll go, who has enough points to choose a new seat? And if there's a spot you want to move to, you get to. Can I sit next to my friends? Absolutely, until you're an idiot. As soon as you sit next to them and you start talking, I charge you B points, move you back to your old seat, or a new seat with which I can torture you, and then you lose the right to sit there. What if I don't want a kid to take my seat? Then you have to block them. And you block them by having enough B points. If you don't want to have a kid take your seat, you have to get to 50 B points. And if you get to 50 B points, then you get to stop another kid from taking your seat. So if Edison wants to come and steal Alyssa's seat, as long as he gets over 50 and she's below 50, he's like, nurma, 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 and you get to take that seat, and then she goes to your old spot. As soon as Alyssa gets to 50, she gets to stop him. He's like, I want your seat. She's like, I got 50. And then she gets to stay in that spot. Until Edison gets to 100 points. And once you get to the next one, then you get to steal everyone's seat below it again. And then at 150, it goes from there. So it becomes a race for some kids to see who can get enough points to steal each other's seats, because apparently some kids are special. So that's usually the main ones that kids push for, is the 50 B points, because if you can get to that point, there's a good chance I probably trust you-ish. Questions as far as the whole B point scale thing? And some of the things that are higher up on there, I'll explain when you get enough points. Like if at 100 points you get to play what's called the mint game. You have a chance to get like a free, like a little peppermint thing like that. And you have a chance to win one every day. When you get to 100 points, ask me and I'll explain it to you. Until then, you don't have enough points, so don't worry about it. So as you go on that point, yeah. And I think, as of this moment, I'm officially activating B points. I now get to start torturing you. Your poor choices will come back to haunt you. I wish you the best of luck from here on out. Delaney!
What happens if Casper gets enough B points to bump you?
Then he can. If you get bumped by Casper, that sounds like a you issue. And I know who Casper's going after first. You can't hide from Casper. He's a ghost. Covering your face does nothing. With technology, what I've been told is that you guys so far are better than last year's kids with this, so go you in that area. I have over yonder that you'll see on my desk is like a little phone dock area. Here's how the whole phone issue works, because we had a lot of issues with the kids last year, those 8th graders. If I see your phone and it is out, I'm going to be torturing you. most likely, if I like you, I'll give you a warning if it's just like sitting in your pile of stuff or something along those lines. If you want to prevent me torturing you, 2 options. Well, 3 options. 1, don't bring it to my class. If you do bring it to my class, now you have 2 options. 1, put it where I'm not going to see it, either in your pencil case or in your pocket or something like that. I heard at Sand Creek, if they saw it in your pocket, they would still yell at you. I'm not that evil. If it's in your pocket and you're just not using it, I'm fine with it. But if you're worried that you're going to be tempted, then you can just put it over there during class. If you put it in the dock thing, I'm not going to yell at you at all. If you use your phone during my class for some reason, and you get it out and you're like, take it, then I end up taking the phone from you for 25 hours. You get it back at the end of the next day. It says 24, but you realize you get at the end of that class period, so a kid might like, really, that's 25 hours. I'm like, so really it's 25, because I don't give it back to you at the beginning of class, I give it back to you at the end of the next day's class. Now, I'm not a complete troll. I charge it for you, and so you get back a fully charged phone, but you have to wait a 24-hour period. If you realize you made a poor choice, and I catch you with your phone, I take it for 24 hours, but you really want it back, we can negotiate. And I have a really good negotiating tool, which we can talk to each other about that, trying to make you a better person and stuff like that. And so that's the whole phone technology thing. And so as long as you're fine not using phones, then I'm fine with it. If I see it, I have to torture you and things like that. And I tell your parents about it, things along those lines. Although, like I said, from what I was told, you guys don't seem to have as much of an issue with it as those 8th graders did. Questions about me torturing you with your phone, just don't have it out and I'm fine. For the most part, we're not going to use iPads very often either. I'm much more of a paper talkie kind of person because the iPads just seem to irritate kids. So for usually, you don't even have to have your iPad out except for unless you're using it for like to write down the assignments or something like that. So even iPads, we're not going to use a whole lot. All right. Nicknames. If you've had a past sibling come through my class, there's every chance they might have mentioned something like this to you. If not, that's fine. My mom, when I was a kid, renamed my friends. Apparently it was some screw that was loose in her head. Whenever we brought kids home, she would give them different names and say that their parents named them wrong. I had a friend named Jeff. When he came over, I was like, Mom, this is my friend Jeff. She goes, nope, his name is Todd. And I went, no, his name is Jeff. And she looked at him, she goes, nope, Jeff's not right. His name is Todd. And that's what she always called him. She just called him Todd, and then started doing that with my other friends, and it was really confusing until we just started calling them by their new names. And so apparently my mom broke something in my head. So oftentimes when I look at you, I'm going to see a different name, and I'm going to end up calling you by a new name. As an example, oftentimes over here, you're going to see the fact that I have different nicknames. Like some of the ones up there, actually most of those kids are normal. Goose is not a normal kid's name. And so some of the names that get written over there, sometimes it's just a normal name, like your name is John. I'm going to call you Bobby. You're like, well, I'm not a Bobby. I'm like, you're wrong. And so I'll be telling you, or it could be something like Goose is not the kid's actual name. That was the nickname. You'll know you have a nickname when I keep staring at you and calling you by that particular name. When I'm like, Bubbles, Bubbles, and you're like, who are you? I'm like, you're Bubbles. You're like, I guess I'm Bubbles. And so you're going to have that name you get the chance to go by. Once I give you a name, I get rid of your old name. I stop using that name. You get to use your nickname on tests and quizzes. Whenever I talk to you, I use that name. When I talk to your parents, it's really confusing because I also use that name. So it works better if you just go ahead and explain to your parents what your name is in my class. If you cannot request a nickname, because that's just not the way my brain works. You can be like, I want a nickname. I'm like, well, I want a Porsche. Let me know how it works out for both of us. And so it's just the way it works. If I give you a nickname you don't like, let me know. Because if I start calling you like Twinkles and you're like, I don't want to be a Twinkles, then tell me. Because if you let me go like a week of calling you Twinkles, it gets locked into my brain and I can't get it back out. So let me know right away that you don't like a name. And then the problem is you'll probably never get a new nickname because you've rejected your new name, which is fine. As long as you're okay with that, then so am I. If I give you a name, it does not mean I like you. It just means that your parents named you wrong. If you never get a nickname, it does not mean that I don't like you. It just means that your parents did name you correctly. When will nicknames start? For some of you this week. As I start learning your names, I'll realize that your name is wrong, and I'll be giving you a new name. Sometimes it might take a week, a month. For some of you guys, it will be till the end of the year. But all of a sudden I realize, oh, your true name has finally come out. Those of you who had siblings come through my class, you don't have the same nickname as them because you're a different person. So they have their own nickname. You get your own nickname. Or not. Maybe your parents named you correctly. It's just the way that things work. I know, once again, you're telling your parents when you get home, he's more crazy than I thought. They got even worse today. Don't worry, we're still the tip of the iceberg. We're getting in there. Weekly calendar. Yonder, over here next to Luke. Hang on a second. Those of you on the home game, hang on, we're going to go on a trip. Oh, no, on a little rocket ship. Trying not to get Luke so the creepers can't come after him, no matter how adorable he might be. All right, so over here, this is I have regular and I have advanced. I use my weekly calendar to help you guys figure out what's going on in class. I write down what we're doing every day as we go through and do stuff. If I have homework due on a day, it is always written in red at the top of the class period. If I have homework assigned on a certain day, it is written in red at the bottom of a class period. So as we go through, you see what we're doing, homework that was due, homework that is assigned. Anytime we have a test or a quiz, it'll be written in big letters across there. I never give a pop quiz or a surprise one. It's always written up there. Now, for some of you, it'll be a pop quiz because you're dumb. You're not going to have any idea the whole week it said giant quiz on Friday, and you're going to walk in on Friday and go, there's a quiz? You didn't tell us. Like, it was written over there, and you're like, well, I never look over there. I'm like, well, that's a you issue. So you can always look over here to figure out what's going to be due. Down here, anytime we have like an all-kid thing, it'll be in green where it says like school dance on Friday, 3 to 4:30. I'll put that information in the middle to bring your attention to whatever that particular thing might be. Thursday and Friday, you see, are blank. It's not because we're not doing anything. It's because I'm sort of waiting to figure out how this stuff works out. I'm still behind, so I'm not quite sure how long it's going to take me to get through things. So I'm not sure what things get bumped down. So don't get too excited. Like, we're going to do nothing on Thursday and Friday. I mean, some of you might. You just spend the whole time staring at me anyway. But officially, I'm just not sure, hiccup, what it's going to be. Now, here's how that affects you guys even more. Never ask me if we have homework due or assigned. Because if we do, it's written right over there. If you ask me, Mr. Brovicast, do we have homework due today? What I hear in my ears is, Mr. Brovicast, I'm incredibly lazy. Will you torture me today? And the answer is yes. So if you ask me, I'm going to make up a random assignment and try to convince you to do it. And I'm really good at lying straight-faced to you, especially when I want to torture you. So when you go, do we have homework due? I'll go, yeah. I gave it to you last week. It was the 5-paragraph essay about your favorite animal. We're giving them a speech today. I'm pretty sure you're one of the first ones to go. Are you ready? And you'll go, what? And you'll go, but it's not over there. And I'm like, well, no, because you're an idiot. Why would you ask me when you could just look over there from the beginning? So don't ask me. That's laziness. Use your brain, which is much more reliable than this, as you're figuring out, and use that over there to make your life better. Yoink. And then over here, as I mentioned before, I have your guys' grades and B points posted by your student ID number. You're welcome to check that. Updates every Monday. Last thing we get a chance to get to, I think, depending on how this goes, here's where your iPad comes in handy. We're going to sign you guys up for Remind. I told your parents to have you guys download it over the weekend, and if not, then you're going to download it now. Good job, responsible kids. This is where you're opening up your iPad, unless you have a way of magically using it telepathically. In that case, I'll read my mind. Yes, that's an iPad. Stop bragging. No. You're going to log into... Now it's a kit. Before it was a blank screen here. There's a difference. You're going to log in, download the app called Remind, which has like the little bubbly thing on it. And then you're going to have to log in and create an account if you've never used it before. It requires you to have an email address that you can check. Should be whatever email address you have on your iPad. And then you're going to have to sign up and create an account. Unless you are responsible and already have one. Then go you. In that case, you're going to sign up for my class. BROV is my class name. Now, when you sign up, if you're signing up for the first time, you do have to fill in information about how old you are. If you are under 13, it will not let you send me messages, which means you cannot ask me questions about homework, you cannot ask me things along those lines. So I've had kids in the past go, Mr. Brovicast, but I want to send you messages to ask questions so I can learn more. And the answer is, I understand. But can I lie about my age? No, that would be awful. You should definitely not lie about your age to be able to send me messages. That is completely up to you if that was a decision you wanted to make. You would definitely not want to know that putting in 2004 as your birthday would definitely allow you to email me. I cannot tell you that information because that would be wrong. So here's where you should be signing up so that you can get into this Remind app. And then you're going to sign up under BROV, not the one your parents used, BROV parent, because that was for parents. And you're not a parent unless we have a discussion we need to have. Some of your eyes got really big. I don't teach that class. It's okay. That's another class.
Wait, so what are we putting in? I'm so confused.
Did you get into the signing in to remind part?
I'm at my birthday, so what year should I put in?
You should put in your real birthday and not 2004
Okay.
if you want to be able to access it.
Wait.
I'm really confused.
What dumb kids in this class?
I'm the vulnerable in this class, and I'm
I can't wait till I get to my advanced class.
Okay, so
That was the
you nodded the whole time, but I'm a little confused.
If you want to be able to send me messages, you have to be at least 13.
So
we put it
no.
So if you were to put in 2004, that would
Yeah.
guarantee that you're 13 years old.
Okay.
But I cannot tell
But
you
I'm
to do
not.
that. What?
He just explained that you're supposed to put it in.
He's nodding at me.
Do you want to ask?
Okay.
Do you want to be able to ask him questions?
He goes,
about the whole
No.
don't do
For
it.
Mason, you should put 2013 just to be safe. That gives me a long time before I get any messages from you.
Yeah.
Also, make sure notifications are on for this. If you turn off notifications, the app is useless because then it can't notify you when I send out a notification. So make sure it'll pop up and give you, because I'm going to be testing it here in a moment. If you're having problems, you can either ask a person next to you who seems to be smarter than you, or you can ask me, because there's definitely a good chance I'm smarter than you. For some of you, the answer is a lot. It's so spinny. Hit the big. There's only one thing to do. Hit the big blue button.
Hit skip.
Oh, hit skip.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful.
And then you can have other people join your class, I think.
Yeah.
How do you know how to say it?
Yeah, make sure you're not in the Brovicast parent one, because if you are, I'll kick you out later. Because, once again, you're not a parent. You are the student-y ones.
Can I start a conversation and say, hi everyone, this is the...
Oh, if you do a conversation, it only goes to me. It does not go to everyone else. So if you send a message, it's not you don't have to worry about embarrassing yourself, like sending it to everybody. Anything you send only goes to me. You're only embarrassing yourself in front of me. And for many of you, that's already begun. All right, so I'm going to test it. I'm getting ready to send out a message that hopefully to make sure you should be able to get it. Let's find out. Send a message.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Wait, do we compose it?
Do I hit invite?
Do we message people?
Only person you can message is me. It only goes to me.
You just go on. It says invite and message.
Yeah, go to the top right where it says skip.
Oh.
Hey.
Wait, I hit invite.
Wow. What?
It's
Oh,
fine.
then hit
Nothing really
that.
happens.
I don't know what to mean.
Like
Wait,
tonight,
you don't need to do
I will be sending out a message telling you guys that there is the 5 pictures due tomorrow and stuff like that. Mason.
Wait, took a picture of myself.
Yeah, I want to add that. Can I...
Enter your parents' name and contact information.
And that's just, I think that's on there if you're just, if you haven't put it on there. I think it's just to keep them in the loop.
Can I add a profile
I
picture?
now, yeah, you add a profile
I
picture.
want to add one of my...
I should have sent out the first message, so if you're doing it correctly, you should have just gotten a message.
Should I add my dog or my cat?
That is up to you.
I did.
Deacon.
Oh, wait, they don't have a profile picture of my dog.
That's fine.
And now...
Yeah, the profile picture, it does pop up whenever you message me, so I will see it if you send me a message. Same thing with your name. I don't care what your name is unless you message me. If you put down your name as like Bobby Joe McFlicka, then when you send me a message, I'm going to go delete, You're going to see me, I'm like, why aren't you answering me? I don't know, Bobby. So that's why. So make sure I know who you are, or I'm going to ignore you. You mean like in class? Yeah, just like in class, except now it's a digital version of me ignoring you. All right. Any questions as far as Remind goes? I'll be sending out your first message officially tonight. I sent one out a moment ago, which hopefully you got. If not, then let me know. Katie?
There's the part that says start a conversation, and this is announcement.
We gotta go.
That's if you have your own class, so I'm not positive. We did not get to Notebook. We are going to get to Notebook tomorrow and Picture tomorrow. Finally, we're going to get to real learning because we've activated B points. I get to start torturing you.
Oh, no.
I am now done with you.